The average adult spends 2.5 hours every day online telling everyone how to change the world. Why not earn $100? Come on over to burningwoodenleg.com. Young or old, rich or poor, Trump-tard, libtard, whatever your persuasion, we want to hear from you at burningwoodenleg.com. And here we get the strategy from the perspective of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a fine representative who is just as clueless as the rest of the Democrats about what to do, what's going to happen, how to defend against it, and you can just forget about having an offensive playbook.
I need you to be ready. I need you to be ready. And I need you to be ready to be responsive. And by that, I mean, we don't quite know what the next play is in terms of this issue on the Supreme Court, right?
No, we do know what the next play is. They're going to get another justice. And this is an example of their inability to admit the truth.
Mitch McConnell sent out a statement tonight. And as I said at the opening, the very last dying wish of RBG was that her vacancy not be filled until the new president takes office in January. That was her dying wish. Tonight, Mitch McConnell publicly, the night of her passing, he couldn't wait 24 hours, issued a statement saying that he was going to give Trump a vote in violation of her dying wish.
Who cares about what her dying wish was? This is politics. Nobody cares. Mitch McConnell certainly doesn't care. What kind of clueless high school strategy plan is this to believe that anyone on the Republican side cares what Ruth Bader Ginsburg's dying wish was? This is so sophomore.
People can say how appalling, people can say this is horrible, etc. But we know who this man is. We know who this man is. This is a man who does not care about a dying woman's final wish.
That's right. You admit that. You know that. And yet you expect him to behave otherwise. That is just insane.
Clearly. And so, listen, we need to size up what we are up against. And what we are up against is a profoundly corrupt, established network.
Why is it she takes forever to complete a sentence? We need to figure out that we're up against, pause, a profoundly corrupt, no kidding. And it's not just the Republicans. The Democrats are equally as corrupt. Right now, as we speak, they are destroying the election process in Pennsylvania just to make sure the Green Party can't be on the ticket. And by doing so, they're destroying the mail-in ballot process. They are shooting themselves in the foot. Democrats are experts at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Because this isn't just Trump, right? Trump would not be able to do any of the things, almost any of the things that he has done, if it wasn't for an entire Republican apparatus that allows him that.
Now she's blaming it on Republicans. No, the corruption is across the board. The Republicans, the Democrats, the corporations, the lobbyists. Why don't you admit all of the components to this corrupt apparatus that you're describing? And it's because she can't.
Defends him and that propels him. So this isn't just about Trump, and that's why I talk about that this presidential election is not the end of this.
No, it's not the end of this. Trump is going to be elected. He has rigged the election. It's clear. It's obvious to anyone who's looked at the Postal Service, looked at the fact that the tablets and scanners are manufactured by Republican-owned corporations and send their data back to their Republican headquarters to be altered before states ever see it. It's apparent to anybody who has looked at the voter roll purging. Stacey Abrams ate that when she was going against head-to-head with Brian Kemp. And so all of these hacks to the 2020 election, also, there are indications Russia may be active, although who knows to what extent any of that has any great effect. But the point is, there are multiple ways this election is rigged. Joe Biden has absolutely no chance. And yet, Democrats have no offense, no defense, and so, of course, Trump's going to win.
The presidential election is just the tip of this, because Trump would not have been able to do these things if a Republican Senate didn't protect him, advance him, and allow him to do these things.
Trump would not be able to do these things if the Democrats had any game. They don't. They lose. Nancy Pelosi blew the impeachment process. There's another way that she could have won that, as described in a different podcast. And so the reason why Trump will win again, and the reason why it's very likely will go extinct thereafter, is Democrats earned it. They earned it with their feckless, lame, crippled, ineffective defense against all of these problems.
So this is on every Republican's hands right now. And so when I say the last thing I want you to do is be ready, what I mean is, listen, Mitch McConnell's ready. He's ready. He wants to jam through a nominee. Who cares? You know, in 2016, he blocked Obama from getting getting his Supreme Court nominee in his final year. And
right. We already know how Mitch operates, and yet you have prepared no defense for this. Their big defense is to try to stack the Supreme Court, which is what Chuck Schumer recently said. Everything's on the table. In other words, what they're going to try to do, assuming Joe Biden wins, which he won't, is to stack the Supreme Court so that the conservative justices don't matter. And that's a ridiculously weak defense against this hack.
And, you know, with Merrick Garland and, you know, Mitch McConnell, he said, oh, we can't do this in a president's final year. We need to let people have their say. You think he cares about that now? No, he doesn't care about that now, because he cares about power. These people do not care about democracy. They do not care about fairness. They do not care about equality. They do not care about justice. They care about power, and they care about money.
That's right. Now you know what motivates them. And yet, despite all of this knowledge that you claim to have, you are unable to come up with any defense or any offense to actually win a rigged election. We gave you votetool.org so you could do it. You ignored it. When you were drafting your Green New Deal, NASA and Stanford scientists tried to contact you so that you could strengthen that up and actually get it in motion now, and you ignored them. You did not reply to one single email, letter written to you, phone calls left on your box. And so as great as AOC is, and she's the best we've got in Congress, she is a complete high school sophomore. I wouldn't even give her the qualifications of being a senior in terms of having any idea on how to handle this disaster. Young or old, rich or poor, Trump-tard, libtard, whatever your persuasion, we want to hear from you at burningwoodenleg.com.